So most of you have heard about Vegan Sidekick. He's an illustrator and he puts out comics on Facebook, and he's got over 50,000 likes. I think his comics are really smart, and I wanted to show some of my favorite ones and do a commentary on some of them to demonstrate my personal experience with some of the things that he shows in his comics, and maybe you'll be able to relate to them as well. So the first picture has 3 people. One of them is a victim being stabbed, another is committing the crime, and then we've got a police officer who is thinking about whether he should intervene and force his views on the person committing the crime. And often meat eaters will say that their choice to eat meat is a personal choice, and I think it's not merely a personal choice when there's victims involved. The second comic is demonstrating the difference between meat eaters, vegetarians, and vegans, and often people think that vegans are extreme because they avoid exploitation and killing of as many animals as possible. And of course vegans aren't perfect, but at least we're doing the best we can in regards to consumption of animal products. And often we will also avoid wearing leather or wearing wool and products that test on animals. So I think this is a reasonable stance to take and not really that extreme. I don't think that you can love animals and continue to eat them. Often people will have pets but still continue to eat bacon. And I have friends who own dogs and they happily eat beef, and there's just such a disconnect between what they put on their plate and the pet that they own in their house. I think one of the most frustrating conversations that you can have with a meat eater when you're trying to lay out the reasons for becoming vegan is when they start saying how you're not perfect just because you're vegan. But I think we're all just trying to do the best that we can, and no vegan is perfect. And I don't think meat eaters should use imperfect vegans as reasons to not become one themselves. They think that, well, since morality is subjective and since vegans aren't perfect anyway, well, let me just do what I want, even if it causes harm to others. I don't think that's a productive way to live. I think everyone should look at their own choices. Everyone should continue learning. We should all be doing our best. We shouldn't be pointing fingers. We shouldn't be saying, oh, vegans are not perfect, so let me not try. So scenario C is a very popular option in Western countries especially. I think it demonstrates the power of the dairy industry and all the marketing that has been pushed onto people to tell them that dairy is healthy, that it's good for their bones, that it's natural. And obviously from this picture we can see it's not, because calves are killed so that humans can drink the milk of cows. So let's move towards scenarios A and B and just take out scenario C. We hear a lot of excuses from meat eaters about why they can't be vegan, but this is probably one of the worst. And here are some more excuses on why meat eaters can't be vegan. They think that vegans are very closed-minded, but really it actually takes someone to be open-minded to become vegan. To be a meat eater is the norm in society, especially in Western society. So for someone to be vegan, they need to have done the research and to have been open to eliminating animal products from their diet and just learning more about it. And even once you've learnt about all these things, and even when you become vegan, it doesn't mean that you're closed-minded. It just means that you've learned what is right and wrong, and you've seen all the reasons to become vegan, so why would you go back to meat eating? I think it's the meat eaters who need to open up and just try to take on more information and try to change their ways and their ways of thinking, rather than accusing vegans of being closed-minded. Vegan food can be tasty. I once made chocolate cake for someone and they loved it even though they weren't vegan. And I think anything can be veganized. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts and see you in my next video. Bye!